What is going on, guys and gals? This is your boy JLove coming at you with another video about non-CDL and CDL Hotshot. In this video, I'm going to be talking about scams, what scams to stay away from, and basically what you should do when you first start up. But before we get to that, let's get to the intro. Guys and gals, I know it's been a minute since I posted a video. I'm sorry about that. I've been pretty busy just preparing myself for my fight. I will be fighting June 19th in Neosho, Missouri. If anybody wants to come, I have tickets available. If you need a load book to get you there, I can definitely help you out, get you in the area, and I'd love to see you all there. But if you can't come, no problems. I actually did get the fight t-shirts in. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have one right here. So these are my fight t-shirts. Pretty dope if you ask me. I think they come out really well. I actually have all of my sponsors on the back here. Thank you for everybody who sponsored me for this fight. But if you guys can't come and still want to support me, if you'd like a official fight t-shirt, they're going to be $25 shipped. Basically $20 for the t-shirt and then $5 to basically ship it wherever we can. I'm not making much off these shirts at all, guys. They did cost a pretty penny to make. I wanted to make them as dope as possible for you guys. But anyways, thank you guys for supporting me anyways. Thank you guys for being a part of this channel. If you're new to the channel, my name's Jason. We own a company called Flash Logistics LLC. We are a logistical company. We do Hotshot right now, non-CDL and CDL Hotshot. And we're currently looking to get into semi-truck and just all sorts of logistical parts of it. But in this video, I want to, or parts of the industry is a better way to say it. But in this video, I want to talk about scams because there's a ton of scams, guys. Recently, I actually had to change the filing of our name because I forgot to put LLC on the end with our MC number, so I had to go ahead and get that changed, which I finally did. But when I did that, what happened was it kind of notified people that I was a new company, which I wasn't, but I kept getting phone calls again like you do when you first start up. So when you first start up and get your authority, you're going to start getting phone calls from everybody. They're going to call you about factoring services, they're going to call you about fuel cards, they're going to call you about dispatching, they're going to call you about XYZ. They're going to want your business and they're going to push it upon you. I actually did find my factoring company through that process, but I'm pretty happy with them and it's great that I use them. But a lot of people are being taken advantage of. I'm actually working with a company that just started up right now. I'm kind of helping them, giving them some tips. I sold them my trailer and they told me, yeah, we got this guy that's going to dispatch for us. And I'm like, well, how much is he going to charge you? And they said 15%. And I said, wow. And the way the guy kind of sold his service to him was that basically they were going to lease on with him. But he's like, no, you're going to have your own insurance. You're going to have your own MC number. I'm just going to find all the loads for you, blah, blah. And I'm like, do not use this guy, right? So there are a lot of people out there, I just call them sharks or whatever, that are going to try and take your money and going to try and charge you a lot for different services. Long story short, they're not going to use that guy, which is awesome. So in this video, I want to go over just some scams to stay away from, and then I want to kind of introduce you to somebody who's helped me out a lot, getting a lot of our stuff going and getting good prices on basically everything. So first off is to stay away from high dispatching. Okay, guys, I would say anywhere from 10% to 15% I would consider a high amount of dispatch. I mean, if you go above 15%, that's insane. But when I talk about dispatching, I'm literally talking about somebody who books the loads for you. They do your paperwork. They basically make it so you just have to go pick a load up. Now, you're still running your MC number, your authority. You're still running your insurance policy. Like, it's not a lease on at all. It is a, you're not leasing on with them. They're just dispatching for you. They watch the boards for you. They book the loads for you. They make it so you just get a rate con and you're good to go. 10% I would say is probably the max I would pay for somebody who has a lot of hookups, somebody who's not just looking at the boards. If I have a guy that's just going to look at the boards for me and do all that, 8% is about where I want to be. That's how much money I charge. Obviously, I do have a couple companies I work directly with, but mostly 90% of the freight we book is off of a load board, right? So I think 8% is definitely a good number to charge, or less than that. Some people charge 5%, but I mean, you get what you pay for to an extent, right? 10% to 15% is insanely high. I would not pay it unless that person at 10% is just, the bee's knees. They have direct hookups with everybody. They're not really using load boards. They just need trucks to move freight. Next scam I'd stay away from is going to be the high fees on the fuel card. Now, each one of these companies is going to package their fuel card as the best fuel card out there. They're going to say, hey, we're with Pilot and Flying J. They're everywhere. You know, we charge a $3 transaction fee, but if you use another place outside of our out of our network, but just don't do that, you'll be perfectly fine. And then you'll be like, yeah, that sounds good, let's do it. They're like, we get at least 20 cents off a gallon. You're like, great savings, right? But then you kind of sign up with them. Then they'll be like, well, we don't offer a line of credit, so you're gonna have to prepay the card. You try prepaying the card, and then, you know, they want a $15 transaction fee for prepaying the card, or they want XYZ. So there's gonna be a lot of hidden fees when it comes to this. And then if you hook up with that fuel card and you realize, you know, they don't have the best you know, basically fuel stops around the United States. It's not really working out well for you. They're taking you to a lot of places where you can't even get fuel at, a lot of like small gas stations. And then you kind of start having all these problems, right? That was kind of where I was at with TCS. I don't think TCS is like a bad of a company or anything, but I did start realizing we were getting a lot of fees. I think, you know, we'd have to send money through Western Union. They charge us $8, and then TCS would charge us an extra $10 for transferring the money, which I thought was outrageous. Then they had a $3 fee and just XYZ. So I kind of got away from them. But just look at the fees on the fuel card and look at what fuel stations it's going to use. Obviously, we're going to look at it like, oh, I want the best discount possible. But if that best discount possible is going to cause you to go to these mom and pop gas stations or not have sufficient enough gas stations around you to fuel up, it'd be better to go with somebody that has like a Pilot or Flying J, where you know they're everywhere. You know you can find one. They give you a lot of credit. They don't have a lot of different charges. You know, it works out great for you. So definitely look out for that. A couple other scams I want to talk about. These are ones that you're gonna encounter when you're first starting your business. One of them is UCR registration. You have to do this, I think it's annually, biannually. I think it's annually though. And it's super easy to do if you just go on the FMCSA website, you know, watch a YouTube video about it. I think it costs $65 to do it, depending on how many trucks you have. But a lot of people will call you and be like, hey, we see that you need your UCR registration. You know, XYZ, we can do it for you. It'll be $125, $150, $200. And they're like, well, if you don't do it, they're going to cancel your MC. Like, they're going to like kind of pressure you into doing it, right? Now, I would call that a scam, definitely. It's the easiest thing in the world. You just have to do your due diligence about it. I think it costs $65. Now, if they call you saying, hey, we'll do it for $75 and you don't want to worry about it, I mean, you might as well do it at that point. But it's super easy to just do it yourself. Another scam is BOC3 registration, another one you're going to run into when you first start your business. BOC3, I don't really know how to do it. I've never done it personally. I've always used a company. But the way that I find the companies that I use for that stuff is I go to the FMCSA website, and they usually have a list of companies that will have like a filing agent for you, because with your BOC3 you need a filing agent. So I would go to the companies that FMCSA website has posted. I wouldn't just Google search BOC3 registration. I wouldn't really trust a lot of people that are calling me. I would go there, find one. I think $35 annually is what is being paid. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about it, but I know as long as you keep the price down. But anything over $35 is crazy. A lot of people say BOC3 is just a one-time payment as well. So really look into that. Don't just go with the first person that calls you. Like I said, I haven't looked too much into it just because it is a small fee. I'm not too worried about that at all. Next scam I want you guys to be aware of is authority registration. So to be real with you guys, it costs $300 to do your paperwork from the FMCSA website to apply for your authority. That's like the only thing you're gonna pay is $300. There are a lot of companies out there that are like, hey, we'll do all of it for you, blah blah blah, and they're gonna act like it's a ton of work, and they're gonna charge you $1,000 plus to get it done. And then you not knowing any better or not doing your due diligence, you think it's a great price, so you sign up for them. So be aware of that. You know, if you have somebody who wants to help you and they're like, hey, you know, I'll fill out your paperwork, give me $50, $100, you know, that's not terrible. But if you just need some help, I mean, obviously people need help, right? But if you can do it yourself, it's not that hard. You can watch a video on YouTube and it'll take you through everything you need to do, it'll take you through all the paperwork that's necessary. You can definitely do it yourself. And it's $300. It's pretty easy to do. You know, it's not terrible. Last scam I kind of want to talk about is high factoring fees, or high factoring just in general. So when it comes to percentage I'd pay for factoring, no more than 3%. I think that's pretty fair. 3% factoring fee is where I'd want to be, or less than that. A couple companies will come at you and say, hey, we're just going to take 3%. That's it. That's just how we roll. Like I know Taft's is really like Taft's is a bad factoring company, guys. I would not go with them. I've had really bad reviews. I've never used them, but I've had really bad reviews from the people that do use them. They've been having a lot of problems with them. But for example, one of the scams or one of the things that factory companies do is they're going to lock you into long contracts, right? So they're going to take advantage up front that you don't know much. They're going to package their deal as the best deal possible, and then they're going to get you to sign a contract with them that's going to be really hard to get out of. So don't sign with the factory company that has any sort of a contract. If they have a contract, just stay away from them. My factory company I use does not have a contract, and a lot of factory companies do not have contracts. So if they want you to put you in a contract, just kind of don't bother with that. Another thing is hidden fees, guys. So they say they take 3%, but then they're gonna want maybe a $20 transaction fee. When they send you the money, the ACH fees, like. Or they're gonna have some sort of processing fees. Like these fees exist these fees exist. These companies are trying to make money off of these fees, but you can definitely find a factoring company that doesn't have any of that. I know that with my factoring company, I think I pay $15 for every ACH transfer. But what I do is I try to pair all of my my loads together. So I'll do like 3 loads at once and factor it out, and then I don't have to pay as much in fees. But definitely kind of try and stay away from those for sure. And then one thing they do, a lot of factoring companies are going to hold a reserve. What a reserve is they're going to take a percentage off the top of the load, and they're going to release that percentage when they actually get paid. So it could be 30 days up to 60 days depending on the company. Now some companies hold big reserves, 20%, maybe even over 20%. You can find factoring companies that don't deal with reserves at all, but some factoring companies will tell you, hey, we don't do reserves, and they actually end up holding a reserve. So stay away from that. If they're going to be taking a reserve or holding on to a reserve, I think 10% is about where you want to be, or less than that. So these are kind of some things I would say, scams or ways people are going to try and take advantage of you when you're starting your hotshot career, or just you're getting your authority in general. One thing that I think is really important is that you find companies that you can trust, you find people that you can trust. And obviously building trust is, you can trust somebody and they can backstab you, and that's true. But really find these people that you mesh well with, that you think or that are looking out for your best intentions, and just kind of stay out of contracts. You live and you learn. We were lucky enough to get a good factory company when we first started out. I was wary about contracts. I stayed away from it all possible, whether it's fuel card, whether it was anything like that. I basically wanted to sign up for services that said, hey, if you don't want to use this anymore, you don't have to, type of deal, right? And I made sure that the paperwork that we signed had nothing to do with the contract. That's the biggest thing. But one thing that happened to us, if you guys don't know, we did switch from TCS to RTS for our fuel card about, how long was it? Probably been about 3 months now. I really like the RTS fuel card. One thing is they don't charge any fees, like when they're transferring the money out of my bank account. That's one thing I like. When I was at TCS, I was losing a lot of money just trying to put money on the card. They gave me, I think, a $5,000 credit limit on their fuel card, which was super dope. And they use Pilot and Flying J, so I'm gonna get less of a discount per gallon of fuel, but I really believe that we're going to be saving more money. My drivers are happier because they're going to nicer fuel stops. They're not having to stop at these mom and pop shops in the middle of nowhere. They can stop at the Pilots. They can stop at the Flying J's. It's a lot better for them. Like I said, we're not paying any fees. We have a credit limit. I don't really have to worry about it. I figured out it's pretty easy for me to go on there and print out, the different statements for my drivers, to do the washout sheets that I do, so they know how much they spent in fuel, and it works out really well. But the guy that hit me up, his name is Kenneth. I'll put all his information below. He's a really, really awesome guy. He's a representative for RTS. He actually works with Ryan Transportation. They offer fuel card, they offer factoring, and the one thing that's really cool is they do offer a load board. So when you go through Kenneth, you're going to be signing up for Ryan, and this is really, really good when you're first starting out, right? Because he can offer you the fuel card, the factoring, and then he can also give you access to the load board that's on Ryan Transportation, and they're moving about 25,000 loads per month. So Ryan, this actually load board is something that I've used in the past. I've definitely looked for loads on there. I've booked a couple loads off of it. And it works out really well. But the coolest thing about this is they're gonna work with new authorities. So even if you're brand new and you just got your authority yesterday, when you sign up for them and you get their factoring and you get their the fuel card and everything, and you don't have to do all of them. Like I just have the fuel card through them. I don't have the factoring. But looking through his factoring, very, very fair rates. they're not trying to take advantage of you. They really just want to help you out, to get you paid same day with low factoring fees, and kind of just build relationships with people. Now, me and Kenneth have had many conversations. We've talked about trucking. I think he's actually going to come to my fight, which is super awesome. But just a really straight up dude, super straightforward. I definitely tell he's being honest, and he's looking out for my best interest as a carrier, and he wants us to build an organic relationship where we can help others, and that's something that's super important. So if you're just starting out, or if you like not liking your factoring company, not liking your fill card, give Kenneth a shout. He's a super awesome guy. He'll explain everything to a T. And he'll really help you out, guys. And that one thing I really like is the load board. That's something that's super awesome, because we all complain about booking loads when we first start out, and it's hard. A lot of companies aren't going to use you. But when you sign up with Kenneth, you not only get the fuel card and the factory from RTS, but you sign up, you do the carrier packet for Ryan Transportation, then you get access to their load board, and then you're going to be able to start booking loads from day one without having the worry of, I have a new authority. Right, he's gonna be able to help you out. So like I said, I'm gonna put all of his information down below. Give him a shout, guys. Tell him that JLove sent you, that Jason sent you. It helps me out. It'll definitely help you out, guys. He's a great dude, like I said. And I hope you guys can learn something from this video, though. I hope you guys could kind of understand how people are going to try and take advantage of you. It happens all the time out there, guys, like all the time. So be wary if stuff sounds too good, because it probably is too good to be true. Okay, guys, just kind of do your due diligence. If you guys have any questions, or if you're scared, or if you think someone's trying to screw you, send me a message, drop a comment on the video, and I'll definitely help you out, give you what my take is on it, and just see if they're really doing what they say they're doing. But I love you guys so much. Like I said, if you want a video, if you want a t-shirt, I'm gonna put my Venmo, my Cash App, everything down below. Just send me the Cash App, Venmo, $25, what size you need, and your address, and then I'll get those shipped out to you. And thank you guys for supporting me. You guys are awesome. Hope you all have a great day.